Okay, so we've all seen Miss Flood at the end of the final episode of the season, talking to camera and giving her little speech there. And there have been a number of incidences during this series where characters have broken the fourth wall, and Akuta Gatwa, of course, did the wink to camera and things like that. And it's happened a few times, and there has been some speculation as to what it all means. Why have they been breaking the fourth wall so much in this series? And RTD has answered it, but probably in a similar way to what you would expect from the series itself. Because obviously at the end of the series, there were lots of questions set up during the series as to, who Ruby's mother was pointing to, things like that, why no one could see her, stuff like that. And at the end of the series, it was just basically a nothing. There was no drama to it, there was no surprise to it, no suspense to it. It was just one of those things. And so it was a bit of a damp squib, to be honest with you, and it looks as though this breaking of the fourth wall could be something very similar. And while you're here, don't forget to subscribe for more pop culture news and views, because every subscriber helps a huge amount to this very small channel. Thank you very much for your help. Doctor Who boss says Miss Flood breaking fourth wall might never be explained, and the reason why is because he doesn't necessarily think it's worth explaining. He says down here, in an interview with SFX, Davies was quizzed on this as the unexplained twist on the traditional Doctor Who style, but stayed non-committal on whether fans could expect the matter to be formally acknowledged. He says, "That hasn't been explained, and it might never be, frankly," he began. "It's very interesting within the Doctor Who offices. We know exactly why that happens, and yet I'm showing no sign of putting that on screen. There is basically a reason for it that was a very early draft of the Star Beast, but I see no need to explain it whatsoever. My sister watches that. She doesn't blink. She actually doesn't blink when a character turns to camera and gives them a wink. You would if it was Pride and Prejudice. That would be odd. But there's something showy about Doctor Who. There's something, I'm not going to begin to proscenium arch about it. There's something arch about it. Full stop. Now, of course, the proscenium arch is it's a theatre term when people are within a certain area of the stage and they're in the characters, and then sometimes people will step out of that and address the audience and things like that. That's basically what it means. It refers to an area of the stage which a show unfolds in, is at the frame where the characters, locations and scenarios exist, with the audience sat firmly outside. Of course, in some theatre productions, characters do occasionally step out to acknowledge the audience watching them, and Davies believes it isn't a stretch for Doctor Who to do the same. I think it's a programme which you can very happily turn towards the audience. It's a very fine, very simple tradition. To be honest with you, he hasn't really answered it in terms of why. It's just a change to the way they do Doctor Who. It's just a change to the way they produce the show. They've now got people breaking the fourth wall, and there's no other explanation to it. There's nothing sinister behind it. Although they do say it may work out when they actually find out who Mrs. Flood is. It might not. I think it's just one of those things. They've decided to change the production of the show to have more of these breaking of the fourth wall moments, and basically that's it. There is no, there's nothing behind it. There's no sinister plot within the show behind it. It's just one of those things, and I think that's pretty much like the rest of the series. Really, it's just it's a collection of things that RTD wants to do. There is no real explanation to it. There's no real purpose behind it. It's just something that he wants to do, and I think that's the way the whole show has gone so far since he came back. But let me know down in the comment section what you think. Do you like the fact that they break the fourth wall in this new series, or would you prefer that they didn't? And if did you think it was something sinister, or did you think that actually it was just a change in the production style? Let me know down in the comment section what you think.